everyone. Welcome to Alphawisdom. I'm Mystic Cassandria. Thank you for tuning in. This week, we start the week off talking about travel. Now, many of us are looking forward to traveling. We're pretty much out of the pandemic, and we are ready. We have that urge for change. Now, there are many of us who are fascinated with the idea of traveling. Because they want to explore, they want to meet new people, new horizons. And just as we have people like that, we have others who are fascinated. They like the idea, but they're not anxiously looking forward to it. They're more interested in taking a trip, but being back in their homes before nightfall. So you see, it's variety. With the hand, the lines indicating what your decision has been and what you've done is going to show in the palm. So I've selected several examples to show you and explain to you what this is all about. So we get started now. All right. As you see here, if you're wondering where they're located, you get your hint at the beginning. It says travel lines, the lunar mount, that fleshy part that's below the little finger, below the mount, under the little finger. It's below, just below the heart line, if you're wondering about the area of the luna. Traditionally associated with travel and will bear certain signs. Okay, let's see what these may look like. Looking here. All right, as you see, this is a palm hand. We look to this side, the area under the little finger, right in this area where I've done the semicircle. This is Luna, the mount of Luna. Or it could also be called the mount of the moon. This side of the palm is called the percussive side. I introduced this to you when videos first came in from Alphawisdom on YouTube, okay? This is the side of the palm. And in future videos, we'll talk about this side. Okay, but anyway, now you have two lines here, lines across the lunar mount. Here's one and here's another. It could look like this. It could start right at the edge. Many of them do. And then we have sometimes ones that start just a little from the edge and goes here. But they all mean something. All right, let's go on to the next one. This is what the travel lines usually look like. Travel lines. You've got some, they're all relatively short, but there's some that are shorter than others. I hope you can see this clearly. Okay. I'll bring it in a little closer. Okay. Here we have shorter ones. Okay. First off, let's understand what travel lines are. They are tiny horizontal lines, and these are horizontal lines. They move across. It may be a short way across, but they move across. And they're located always on the edge of the palm. Each line stands, they're tiny lines I put here as an example for you. They stand for an important journey and position, and the position of each line is determined by the person's age at the time of the journey, okay? So that's what you can expect. So if you wonder where they're located, look at the edge of the palm. Now these are a lot. This is not what everybody's gonna have. You might end up having 3 or 4 or 2 or 1. And that shows your traveling years, what you've done, what you have experienced. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, now we're talking about the type of lines. Here you have travel, probably overseas. This is a thick one. Now, when you have a travel line, it represents a trip. It may be important in terms of distance, duration, how long the trip lasts, or an overall impact on the life of the traveler. Okay? So here, this is an overseas trip. This is a long one, meaning they went far and they had time to stay for a fairly long time. This could be in terms of months. It could be in terms of years, but this is not a day trip, okay? Now, for example, when we talk about trips, a business person who is constantly traveling all over the world, a month visit to East Asia would probably be of minor importance, whereas a 200-mile journey to Milwaukee, as an example, that's a city in a state in the United States, would appear as a major travel experience on the hand of a farmer who rarely ventures out of the state, which is Wisconsin. The more important the journey to the individual, the longer and deeper the travel lines. Now, this is bold, it's deep. There's no doubt that you can see this. So we could see when it's long like this, it usually indicates overseas. When it is bold or well-defined, very well-defined, the person has stayed there for a while. Some people have lines that at first glance resembles a travel line. Sometimes this will happen, but it's deeper and longer and located on the lunar mount. Although hand readers do not generally agree on its significance, this line appears to be found on people who are extremely fond of adventure and risk, and whether physical, psychological, or both. So we don't know what goes on in a person's mind, but if the trip is a long distance, if they stayed for a while, it's going to show that. All right? And of course, the bigger and wider the hand, the larger the lunar mount. This area is going to be large, naturally, if the hand is bigger, but just pointing that out. There is an inherent need to stay on the move, a constant urge for travel. The individual is restless and dislikes any sort of restriction. In some cases, life may be lived on the run. Okay? So that's one. Now let's take a look at another one. All right. Another sign of travel, and probably overseas, with a chance of staying there, is a bold, distinctively edged, that's this one, horizontal line across the lunar mount from the percussion side. Yeah. Here we have smaller and shorter lines. This can suggest overseas travel, but these would be short trips. Short trips. Yes. Smaller, shorter lines, shorter trips. Bold line, longer trips, staying for some time. So you're beginning to get an idea of what is meant by these lines. In some time in all of our lives, we will do some kind of traveling. And I just want to point out that it will show in your palm that you did make that trip. And the quality of the line or the length of the line will determine whether that was a long trip, where you stayed for a while, or a short trip, back and forth. Okay, there's much more, and we're not going to have time to do it. So I will continue with the next video on this. Thanks for watching. Give a thumbs up if you like this, and share and subscribe. Welcome to the new subscribers. I appreciate welcome. Take care. Have a great day. Love yourself. Love and light. Bye.